Hello and warm welcome to Consulting Without Borders Perspectives. Today is our 29th episode. I'm Victoria Olskaya, your host and moderator for today's show. This broadcast is brought to you by the Al-Salem Foundation, a US-based nonprofit organization working internationally and dedicated to celebrating the life and inspirational work of the late Al-Salem, who was an international consultant and a global leader. Through our initiatives, we're striving to honor Gabriel's legacy, his profound impact on the consulting industry, his commitment to excellence, and his advocacy for sustainability and a positive economic and social change on a global scale. Happy November 1st, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us, finding the time on your Friday morning or afternoon or evening. Hello, Ron. I see Ron is joining us from Italy. I saw other people joining. Thank you so much for being here with us today. And also a huge shout out to those of you who will be tuning in to the replay of the show, which will stay on the social media on which we are broadcasting today. Please drop us a comment if you haven't done so yet and let us know where you're tuning in from today. As for me, I am now in my office in Florida in the United States. We just had a Halloween party yesterday with lots of kids coming by and asking for candies. So they were coming around for a trick or treat. Today, we are live, as usual, on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. So feel free to engage with us by asking questions in the comments or perhaps by sharing your own opinions or perspectives on the topic that we will be discussing. And if you like what you're seeing, please don't forget to hit the like button. This means a lot to us, and it also helps spread the word about this live stream a little bit further. Today, I'm absolutely delighted to have as a guest speaker CEO of SapaSoft, a company that focuses on developing and implementing ERP systems, enterprise resource planning systems for small and medium-sized businesses in the United States and in Central Asia and other countries. Our guest is also the author, a new author of the recently published book. It's called Business Wars: How Giants Are Born, Compete, and Win. And in fact, this book and its insights will become the focus of today's conversation. Please welcome Andrey Sapa. Hello, Andrey. Thank you so much for finding the time in your busy schedule to join us today. I know you've been traveling quite a bit. And as far as I know, you're now in Almaty, Kazakhstan. Is that correct?
Yes, but yesterday I've been into Dubai, but 3 days ago I've been in Miami, yes.
All right, so it's a big trip. I know you probably are jet lagged. I totally get it because I travel quite a bit, and the trip from Miami to Dubai to Almaty, Kazakhstan is a big trip, especially with all the recent changings in time. And we know Kazakhstan is now on this one time zone, which is a little bit strange.
Horrible.
It's not very convenient. Anya's saying, yes, jet lag is the worst. So I just wanted to mention that Kazakhstan is a very dear place to me and our whole family, because that's where Gabriel and Anya and we lived for a very long time. So whenever we have a speaker who has connections with Kazakhstan, who is from Kazakhstan, this is all very important to me, personally. So I'm very happy, Andrey, that you are able to be here with us today. Perhaps before we dive into the conversation about your book about the controversies, the powers, the influence of the corporate giants. Please tell us a few words about yourself. So how, like, where you lived, where you studied, why are you traveling now so much? Please.
Mhm. Yeah. Hello again. My name is Andrey Sapa. Originally, I'm from Almaty, Kazakhstan. I studied in the UK, in the Netherlands. Uh, my specialization was business, and my area of interest by now it's business strategies, business analytics, and etc. Why I'm traveling? Because we based our mother based in Almaty. However, we have a branch in Miami, Florida, and we have like some business stuff in Dubai, and that's why I was in Dubai. However, my grandparents has a birthday today, and while we have like a long holidays, I decided to flew to Kazakhstan to celebrate like birthdays with them.
Well, happy birthday to your grandparents, or is this your grandmother, your grandfather who is having a birthday?
Both of them they have birthday in one day.
Oh, really? Is that?
Yes.
Oh, well, that's very impressive. Well, that's that's quite a coincidence, and it's quite an amazing life circumstance. But anyway, happy birthday to your grandparents, and I'm very happy that you're able to be in Kazakhstan with them to celebrate. I'm sure for them that's the biggest gift they can get, is you being there, just in person.
Yeah.
And so again, happy birthday, wishing them all the very best, good health, good mood, all the best wishes. So you mentioned that the company SapaSoft is based in Almaty, but it has a subsidiary in the US. I also want to say that I know this company, or the main company that's Slava Vetset, right? Is Adines Sapa. It carries the name of your family for a long time, because when I lived in Kazakhstan, and then when Gabriel was there, when Gabriel helped to start this whole consulting industry in Kazakhstan, your parents, Tatiana, and that they were very, very helpful, of course, in working with consultants, with events. And I know that you, Andrey, personally, you did a lot of the technical background work for the conferences that were organized, and the website, the social media, and everything. So I know that all the consultants in Kazakhstan, CMC Kazakhstan, are just all very thankful to you for all this great work. And some of them wanted to be here, but they might also be traveling, and they just always send their best gratitude to you for all your amazing work in helping consultants in Kazakhstan. So thank you for that. Okay, well, again, now we're talking about your book, which just recently came to life, and it's actually available already for sale on Amazon. And my sincerest congratulations to you on this great achievement, because publishing a book is not an easy task. And in fact, I have this book. I ordered it, so here it is. Let me show you.
I also have a copy.
You also have a copy. Yeah, and I can't wait for you to get back to Florida, where I will be for some time. So perhaps we can meet, and then I want an autograph on this book from the author. So congratulations again. It's a huge achievement, and I know how hard it is, because also been thinking about books, but it's just hard to get around to start working on it and get through the whole publishing process. So maybe you can share with me and everyone else a little bit about how it is to write a book. How did you come about this idea to write this book? What inspired you? And maybe you can tell us a little bit about the writing process and perhaps any unexpected challenges that you encountered.
Yeah, the main inspiration was my family, because we have like some academics in our heritage, and I want to like I joined this club in our family, and as I have some experience to analyze the businesses, and while my doctorate degree is coming, I have like some materials in my mind, and then I try to put it to the paper, and it was first time for me, and it was like a quite tough process, because I just had only general idea how the process should be, and I have like struggling on each step, like from writing to publishing and book coverage and etc. etc. I had trouble like every stage. But now, yeah, as I mentioned, it's live, and already it's less than a month, but I want to make a revision, like a second version of the first book, and I planned like a three book in this series about brand wars. Let's have a look on it.
So I understand that you will see how the first book goes, right? And then you perhaps will continue, because I'm sure there is a lot of information that you discovered. So how did you do your research? How did you, is it all in your head, like all this knowledge about these big businesses and how they came about, or did you talk to people? How did you write about them?
While educated in for my DBA program, we had like a special course name about like business strategy or something, and that gave me an idea to look more further, more deeper in it, and like something came to my mind, and I tried to reflect it to the paper.
Did you have to do some interviews with perhaps people who have insider knowledge in all these industry, specific cases?
No, but the knowledge from this book gave me an idea to analyze stocks, and I know some tricks about the stocks now because I did the research of these companies like a deep. And
okay, well that's a very good move. Before we continue, I just wanted to acknowledge a few more people who joined us. Karligash Makatova joined us, and she's asking in Russian, "Запись будет recording? Whether it will be recording?" Carla is joining from Kazakhstan. I know. Yes, there's all of these broadcasts. They actually stay available on the social media where we are broadcasting now. So it's going to be Facebook, a couple of accounts. One is my personal account, one is the foundation's account, also on LinkedIn and YouTube. So it stays there. So you can always come back at a later time and listen to the conversation. Also, I wanted to acknowledge Yuri Sapa, who is joining from Ukraine.
From Kyiv.
And
from
perhaps
Kyiv, yes.
that's I guess it's the same last name. So is it one of
yeah,
your
we're relatives.
relatives? Yes. Well, yeah. Welcome. Thank you so much.
In general, we built more than 1,000 people in our heritage tree with Yuri.
Wow. So you know all your, like, a lot of your relatives back.
Yeah, until eighth
generation. Okay. Yeah,
generation.
that's very impressive. That's definitely a very old and very respectable family tree. Very impressive. Okay, well, thank you for telling us a little bit about how this book came about and around. And again, we are posting the link in the comments. So anyone who would like to check this book out, order it, you're welcome to go through that link to amazon.com and you can order this book. And now, Andrey, as we were preparing for this live stream, he asked me what kind of audience we have, and I said that we are called Consulting Without Borders, so we do cater to consultants, perhaps businesses that use consultants. So he selected a few cases from this book that he believes reflect or might be of more interest to our audience. And specifically one case that he'll talk about is about one consultant who made a huge difference in the whole industry. In that case, it's a coffee industry, right? So with all this, I don't want to talk too much, and I would like then switch to Andrei's prepared presentation, because I know he prepared a few very beautiful slides to assist him in discussing the cases. And again, as he goes on, please feel free to post your comments or questions. Even if we don't answer them right away, we'll certainly save them and we'll get back to them at a later time, as soon as Andrey finishes with his presentation. So with that, are you ready, Andrey, to dive into the discussion? Okay, here we go.
Yeah, so we have three cases, and they cause different problems about businesses. So we start from Puma and Adidas. As everyone know, they belong to brothers. However, the transition of business failed, and that's why we have not one company based with two brothers, but two separate companies, and they are very aggressive competitors between. And can I have you? Oh, I can. Yeah. So the both companies based by Adolf Dassler and Rudolf Dassler, and they have consequences between them. While the big war was in Europe, they worked with parties in Germany, and NSDAP divided like this family, and Adolf Dassler was very angry for his brothers, for his brother, and tried to gain a whole company to him. However, after they divided the company and started with the scratch from the scratch, and it was a very big trouble for both of them, because Adolf had a very good technical, like he constructed a food, he constructed a design and something, and the second brother started a marketing and sales. And when the company divided, one company had a best product, but they can't sell it, and otherwise the other company had a best marketing, but a worse product. And the problem was in transition, and the same is happening now on our eyes with Russian. I would say it's IT company. However, it's a big marketplace. It's an urgent situation. It's named Valkyries, and the transition of business also failed because they had no plan as Adidas and Puma. So consultants have to plan a business and transition a business like in the future, but from step zero, how the business will transit to new owners or to next generation. So, and this is the main problem for both of this company, because it was like a boom in in their relations, and they just divided the company, and they had no plan, and even they divided a city where they were based, and when we've been in the city, all fabrics and all people who works on both fabrics look at their food and can define where you're working on and for whom you're working for Adidas or for Puma, and that was a problem. And on the slide you can see the lack of readiness and generation transitions, and as I told, so Adidas had a very good technology and innovation, but Puma had marketing and sales, and they also focused on one short time for professional soccer, and they had a big goal, like a very top soccer player, footballist, Pelé. They tried to compete it, but like 2 years before this World Cup, they agreed not to hunt Pelé, but one of the brother did it and won this race. But in the long term, Adidas won Puma, and Puma is much less than Adidas by now. But the story of this starts from transition in past years. I think we can finish with Adidas and Puma.
Well, maybe you can tell us a little bit of these lessons as a conclusion. So what is the challenge of having a family business? I think in the previous slide you had like some lessons identified.
So by start you have to declare a roles, and you have to clear your role, and if you're not agree with it, or you're not agree with new patterns, you have to discuss it or formalize a process. And as a consultant in business, you have to manage these processes, and you have to you have to plan a transition of business even from start. You have to think about it, and you have to have a crisis management, and how you manage a risk and manage crises.
That's a very interesting lesson, and I think it's applicable anywhere, but perhaps especially for consultants, maybe working in like with even smaller family businesses, right? Where they, I mean, of course, not on this scale, but even a small family business might encounter similar problems when they want to grow the business or split or exit.
Mm-hmm. But Adidas and Puma was very small companies.
Oh yeah, okay.
So they just grew up.
Right. I guess every company at some point is a very small company, right? Nobody starts huge immediately, especially if it's a family business. That's certainly how it is. Okay. Well, that's okay. Did you want to finish up with this particular case?
And I want to move to Coca-Cola and Pepsi.
Because we promised when we were doing the announcement. So you're starting with the case that reflects a family business, kind of shows the opportunities and challenges in transferring ownership in these businesses. And the second case Andrey is moving to, it's going to be Coca-Cola versus Pepsi. Correct, and that's speaking more about the goodwill, the importance of goodwill, and why it is not always necessary to fight a competitor. Is that what you will be talking about?
Yes, but it's very complex situation in this case, because it was more than 300 brands on the US market named or has a name cola in the name. And every company who started like a cola company had a problem with Coca-Cola company, because the Coca-Cola company was a very first company to start like a beverage business, like kind of beverage businesses. It started from pharmacy, but expanded it to a very big beverage business. However, we're speaking about a goodwill. So the goodwill is I have something. Yeah, just for a second on this. So the Pepsi and Coca-Cola based like almost in the same year, like in one decade, and the market expansion was very different, because Coca-Cola focused on like more older generation. However, the Pepsi focused on new generation people, and they use it as their feature even when started their business in the USSR. They fight for this exhibition in USSR, and they won a Coca-Cola company to represent whole US in the USSR by Pepsi. And after that, in newspapers and mass media, they positioned this move in the USSR like, we open a new history, and drink Pepsi if you are young, if you're open mind, and drink Coke if you like old people and you have like old fashioned way of mind. However, how the Pepsi made this in very basic, in very old time, when they all started, and Coke started to fight in court with every and each company has a name cola in their name. The lawyers of Pepsi has a guy, and he has a mother whose husband worked for Coke like years before, and Coke paid him for the name Coke. And this guy worked for Pepsi in the present. And when the Coca-Cola tried to sue Pepsi, it was only a goodwill for Pepsi to hire this guy, and he had this like a writing letter from Coca-Cola, and they just revealed this letter to the court. And after that, the Coke took a pause, because they had a very like straightforward process how to sue a companies. This is our trademark, blah blah blah, and you have to close and give us like tons of money. But in this case, CEO of two companies met, and it was the first time when Coke asked what to do his competitor. And the CEO of Pepsi took like a piece like this and asked a Coke sales to write like a letter on it and promise that Coca-Cola will never sue Pepsi in the future to use word Coke. And after that, the Pepsi started very aggressive to Coke, but they had an agreement, and Coke can't do nothing. It was a really good will to hire a right people.
So basically, the person who gave Coke its name, right, who created the brand, was then working for Pepsi. And
his next generation work for Pepsi. Yeah.
Right, the next generation, yeah, because Coke started with a pharmacist, right? I think it was like a pharmacist who created this drink. It's certainly an interesting story, and of course, as being from the older generation, I myself, I lived in the Soviet Union, and I do remember how we had Pepsi, and it came to the market at a certain time, and everybody was drinking Pepsi, and we loved it. But in the back of our head, we always also wanted Coke. For us, Coke was just not available. So for us, Coke was like something, the symbol of this Western world, the free world, United States of America. And Pepsi was more available. So I guess it was not so exciting anymore at some point. But I remember how that was.
Yeah, and after that, after Pepsi positioned it like this is for new generation, Coke created like a Santa Claus, like his imagination, and started that we're not old-fashioned man, we're family.
Right. Yeah, interesting stories.
Yeah, and I have to mention a Pepsi challenge. It was like a very, very huge experiment, and the Pepsi was very, very risky. They started like true Pepsi versus Coca-Cola versus like other brands taste. So they invited the people around the world to taste two different beverage, and Pepsi always wins.
Pepsi wins?
Yes, because most people choose the Pepsi because of taste, and they didn't even know what was in their glasses.
Right. Well, I'm just trying to remember. Yeah, I guess we can say that Pepsi has a little bit of a richer taste, like I would say. Certainly, yeah. Well, that's certainly a very interesting story, and thank you for bringing it to life and explaining some of these tricky things.
Yeah, back to the Adidas and Puma. This is almost the same position like for Coke and Pepsi. So the Pepsi is less than Coke, but they're very aggressive as the Puma to Adidas.
That's right. Yeah, you can certainly draw these links between these two cases. Very interesting. Yeah, I'm sure when our viewers read the book, they can find a lot more details there about how the whole thing happened, and they can enjoy reading these stories. Today is just like a small introduction to the book and the chapters in the book, and of course there are other cases. There are not only these three cases. There is also Boeing versus Airbus, right? The aviation industry. So there's a lot of interesting stories. So I certainly encourage everyone to get the book, and it's available brand new on Amazon, and enjoy it. Okay, and I think Andrey has another very interesting case he wanted to share with us today, specifically related to consultants or a consultant, one consultant involvement in changing the whole industry.
Yeah, so this part about Nespresso, which part of very, very, very big company Nestle, and ethical coffee company. And the thing is, both of them run by Jean-Paul Gillard. So the story starts when Jean-Paul Gillard worked for Nespresso, and he had a different mindset, and in the end he started his own company, like ethical coffee company, and the main idea of ethical coffee company was market transformation to eco-friendly product, because when we all can see this, and we can remember coffee machines, and we use the capsules, and they're not reusable. They were, but because of the this compete of one, we can say that one man compete with Nestle and won in this eco-friendly strategic mindset for company like Nestle and ethical coffee companies. They started, they invest $10 million to rebuild and rethink how the capsules uses. Yes, they used a machine from Nestle, but the capsules won this race on this short term. Yes, and wait a second. Oh, so this is a question. Yeah.
No, this is a question. We can answer it later. Yeah, you can just
yeah
with your
okay.
presentation.
So the main idea of Gillard was to create a capsule that will be either reusable or eco-friendly. And he started to compete with a big company, Nestle. And after he released his capsules, his capsule with coffee from ethical coffee company, the Nestle released after 2 years. And it was a very, very big suit processes because his capsules use a Nestle coffee machine, and Nestle want to ban it. And other companies saw that it can't be done, and the Nestle machine are very popular, and you just can't produce a small capsule and join a market for 3 billion of people by Nestle. It's already created. You only have to provide your small capsules, and Nestle wants to ban it. But in the end of the story, the Gillard won this race, and the Nestle and Nespresso started eco-friendly company. In each location, they created they created a picture with reused capsules. You can put a capsule to a special bag, or put it to recycle on location with Nespresso from Nespresso. And this was a power of one man who just wanted to change an industry, and he knows what he did. So yeah, I think it's almost.
So basically, this consultant, by innovating with the ethical coffee company, right? He made the whole coffee industry sort of innovate in the same direction.
Because he worked for Nestle, for Nespresso before. He knows everyone and everything, how it works, and he just got an invitation to build a new eco-friendly product for current situation, and it was like a huge success for him.
Right. Well, and I guess for the whole industry, because it seems like
for the whole.
they all adopted.
And this is a typical. And the suit was about Nespresso Pixie. It was like one of the first capsule machine, and it has like.
Right. Well, that shows the power of one consultant who at this point basically changed the whole industry, right, and made it more conscious about the environmental impact, and made it more sustainable. So I guess Nespresso should be, in a way, thankful to this whole thing that happened, this whole change, because in the end they didn't win their case, I guess, against him, right? But they still were able to. They had to innovate.
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct?
Yeah, because big companies, when they gain a plateau in their sales, they just stop the R&D, and if it works, it works. And why we have to invest to new R&D while we have a best sales?
Right. And this consultant managed to push them out of their comfort zone, where they were happy making their money and not thinking about the future. And then this consultant was able to push them forward.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly very interesting example, very good lesson for consultants. Again, reminding consultants that they can be a catalyst for change, and that they can certainly use their power to bring their clients to a much better place, not just in terms of the profit, but also in terms of social responsibility and the impact on the environment. I just wanted to acknowledge here, we got a few more comments and people tuning in. I see that Tim Son is tuning in. Hi, Tim. Always great to see you tuning in from Pennsylvania. Thank you so much for joining us today. Tim was the person who taught me how to do live streaming. So I am forever grateful to Tim and his company for teaching me how to do this. Always happy to see you, Tim. Thank you. And Andrey, as you were talking, we got a question from Ron Finch. And you saw it already on the screen, so we're bringing it back. That's actually also echoes with the question that I also wanted to ask you. And I'm very glad Ron already did. So he says that learning from experience is powerful, including from bigger companies. But what kind of advice you can give to smaller consultancies looking to grow into multinational businesses, consultancies or smaller businesses? So what lessons can they learn from these big corporations that have reached their success?
I'm not sure about whole industries, but I can tell about IT. Probably not to start a big investigation. Stay small until you can, but with a big mindset in your mind. I think.
Is that is that how you're now also approaching this? Because you're head of a company and you're growing. You're in a few markets already. So is that how you approach these things?
Yeah, we're trying to stay small. And we try to be a most technology company on the market. We have we use IE, we use all cloud technology we can reach. We try not to hire unnecessary people. We try to optimize. We try to work on ISO standards, and we try to do everything to be more productive with less costs. I think that's my answer.
Okay, thank you for that. And Ron actually, he says the consultancies are the primary catalyst of change, as they offer expertise and an injection of innovation with their subject matter expertise. This is, in fact, what makes us so valuable. And Ron himself is a consultant. So this is a lesson to all consultants. They have to always remember that they really can make a huge change in any company, whether it's a small company or a big company. and that's
but
certainly true.
by now, I suggest for consultants to improve and speed up their work to use IE. There are several like specialized GPTs for consultants, and we'll have a special event about using IE in consultancy, like later on this month, and you're more than welcome to join.
So are you talking about an event? Will it be online, or is it in?
Yeah. It will be online. Yes.
Okay. Well, maybe you can share the link with me, and I can post it through my network. And so this is it specifically for consultants or for any businesses that are interested in using AI in their work? So it's specifically for consultants, right?
Yes.
Oh, that's great. That's very interesting. We can, that's a great thing to learn, because with AI, of course, comes a lot of opportunities, but there are also some ethical issues that might come, because how much is the original? I mean, what is the original work and what is not so original work by a consultant?
We'll discuss this.
Yeah, I'm sure there is a lot to discuss in this way. Okay, Anya says she would be very interested in this AI event. So Andrey, yes, please share with us the details, and we'll be happy to promote it a little bit so you can get maybe more people joining. Anya also has a question about environmentally conscious companies. So what are your thoughts on corporate greenwashing? In your experience, are green actions by corporations usually genuine or misleading?
It's a very tricky question, because some companies really want to make a green product, but we have, for example, a big company to produce an oil, and they think about green. However, their product run thousands or millions of the cars, and probably the process will be green. However, what they do, they run the cars that use like oil and etc. And this is not a very ecological. So we have to focus on whole process from scratch to end product and how it used. And this is a very difficult question to discuss. It has like not two sides, but probably 100 sides, and we have to combine it in one. So
yeah, well, Anya, we actually had a whole episode a while ago on greenwashing and how companies often pretend like they really care just for, I guess, the marketing, right? That they pretend to be green for the marketing purposes, while in reality it's just the marketing. It really doesn't have much substance. So we talked about it. It's a complicated question. I agree with you, but I think it still needs to be addressed, because we all live in this world, and the world is, finite. The resources in the world are finite. That they're not endless. So this has to be addressed, even for oil companies.
A while ago, I joined an event, and it was like a flyer with a number of series. It was, I think, 30,000 number of flyers, and flyer says, "We go green, go to our website." But it's already printed. It printed with colors, and they spread it through their network. So, and what's the point to print a product to go online? So, and they say they are like eco-friendly company, but they printed like 1,000 of flyers. And what the point, and how it can be like really true eco, and it was like a normal paper, and it will go to the trash. It will not recycle. So difficult question to discuss.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's a good point you mentioned, is that this is I would say a very typical example of this, greenwashing, or perhaps not thinking too far, because the company pretends to be green, and maybe in certain ways they are, who knows, but then they don't think it all the way through, and they print out these tons of useless paper which goes in the trash, probably not even recycled, which probably is not helpful anyway. And then they print on that paper that they a green company. That's a total waste. Yeah. I certainly agree. There are a lot of things that have to go into this whole concept of being socially and environmentally responsible. And while it is a nuanced issue, and Anya said, yeah, she said that it is in her comment, but I think it has to be addressed. And Ron is also thanking you for sharing your personal experience as a multinational IT consultancy. So thank you, you guys, for asking your questions and making us think, making us answer. I also, as I was reading your book and I was preparing for this broadcast, I also had a few questions in mind, and I already but it seems that they've already been asked. So about the environmental responsibility and how companies, especially big companies, balance their sort of profitability with social responsibility. This is a big question. I also had this question in mind. I hope you don't mind maybe answering. At what point does the company becomes too big to fail? And should governments at some point maybe step in to regulate them more strictly when they reach that point? And of course, we're talking here about corporate giants, and we know the names, right? When they're just too big. What do you think? Should the government regulate, or what's your opinion?
I think it depends of the country, because, for example, you mean in Japan and Korea, yeah, companies? Yes, the government regulate that if you reach 49%, you can expand further. You have to go to another market, or you have to choose like another type of business and start it. You mean about this? Yes, but I think it very depends of economical situation in country, because it can be a black swarm. We can see an example happening right now on our eyes in our day. So it's Walberry's company, as I mentioned in the beginning. So the Walberry's company paid more than 2% of GDP of Russia, and it's a private business, private start. It's a woman-based business, and a lot of workers work on their warehouses. The businesses have a credit to buy and sell from China or somewhere to produce a product and sell it on Walber's. And lots of people, lots of businesses run on Walber's. And imagine it stopped in one day. Infrastructure, warehouses, cars, couriers, points when they give a product. I don't know, staff. More than 400,000 people will lose businesses, job, credits, and it's a black swarm, and you can't stop it in one day. And yeah, they have competitors on the market, but they are small. And what's the point to regulate a big companies runs in Central Asia, for example, if they pay more than 2% of whole GDP in your country? However, in States, or I don't know, in Japan or in Australia, it will be market dominance. We have an example of Microsoft. They dominate a market, but the court told them that you have to go somewhere else and allow other companies to join this market. So this is a very tricky question to discuss, and it really depends on country.
Right. No, again, yeah, I know it's a difficult question, but again, when you say about that the company owns basically produces 2% of the country's GDP, right? Then it's
in one company, like a private
right. So it is. It means that this company has such a huge impact on everything in the country, economics, and probably politics as well. That all of a sudden this company becomes more than a company, and we can see this in the U.S. as well. Well, you live in the U.S., you know what's going on now too. So these big companies, they certainly have their ways to influence life, politics, and it's getting at some point getting a little bit uncomfortable. Let's put it this way, because it just all of a sudden becomes the decision of one person who just happens to be at the top of this huge industry and have a lot of money and can buy things left and right. So it is a difficult question. I agree. So there's certainly a lot to talk about and think about. So yeah, thank you so much again for all your insights. And we are kind of approaching the end of the hour. So again, for those who are watching us now, or for those who will be watching the replay of this episode, here is Andrey's new book, Business Wars, How Giants Are Born, Compete and Win. And it says book 1, so there will be a continuation. So grab your copy of the book 1, and then to be continued with more examples and more interesting stories. And with this, I just wanted to make a few announcements before we finish the episode. I think I see one more comment by Ron, who's been with us. So important to put place policies and regulations to keep monopolies in check and level the playing field. And that kind of resonates with what I was asking and with what we've been talking about. Thank you, Ron.
But they can start a cartel. In the Netherlands, Siemens and Philips have a deal, and it's legal.
Yeah, so it's never ending.
Yeah, it's never ending.
Big topic to discuss. Maybe at a later time we can go there. Well, and for now, again, as we're approaching the end of the hour, I would like to thank everyone for joining us today. And of course, big thank you to Andrey Sapa, who joined us from Almaty, Kazakhstan, for sharing stories from his new book. And we hope you enjoyed today's episode. I also wanted to thank Anya Al-Salem, who's been helping us in the backstage with the technical parts of this episode. Thank you comes from those who are with us. So please stay tuned for the next episode of Consulting Without Borders, which will be on December 1st. We usually run our episodes on the first day of each month. And our next guest speaker, we already know who that will be. It will be the president of the All Ukrainian Association of Consultants, CMC Ukraine, Olga Trofimova. And in fact, CMC Ukraine was one of the winners of our International Award for Excellence in Consulting, which we run every year. And they were one of the winners in the category Global Leadership. So we will be so happy to hear from them on December 1st and learn what is happening, learn more about their work and how they are managing it all, of course, under the very difficult circumstances that Ukraine is experiencing right now in this war situation. There are a lot of great insights, great stories that Olga will share with us in 1 month. So please stay tuned and join us. And speaking about the award, I would like to remind all of you that the Gabriel Al-Salem Foundation continues to accept applications for this award for excellence in consulting, which we've been running since 2011. The winners are always announced on February 1st. For more information, how to apply, all eligibility criteria and the evaluation process, for all of that, you can visit the foundation's website, and you just saw it on the screen. And please check it out. We specifically interested in cases that do address such global issues as environmental responsibility and other topics like that. So don't miss out on these incredible opportunities to be recognized and celebrate excellence. I look forward to seeing you all in 1 month. In the meantime, I wish you all a very good month of November. Stay tuned. And for now, take care and goodbye.
Bye. Thank you.